This is Paul for Redneck Sports. I believe that everybody should win in life, or at least attempt to. The first three maxims of General Robert Nealon's game maxims, I believe apply to everybody. The team that makes the fewest mistakes will win. Play for and make the breaks. When one comes your way, score. If at first the game or the breaks go against you, don't let up. Put on more steam. Welcome to the channel. Now let's discuss some sports. Oh, and if you don't mind, like, subscribe, comment. And I've got a link tree down below that's got my social media, and it has my Patreon if you want to help out. Thank y'all. We had another exciting weekend in college football. And if y'all weren't watching, well, y'all missed out on a lot. So I'm going to discuss some of my takes on some of these games. Of course, I'm going to talk about my Tennessee Vols, but I'm also going to talk about so many of the other games that were this weekend, because we had some really good games. So buckle up, stay tuned, and enjoy my commentary. So, Tennessee hosting Kentucky at Neyland Stadium. It wasn't pretty. We're still having problems with our receivers, but Dylan Sampson got 2 touchdowns, 19 to tie the record for the most number, and it's a 94-year-old record. Brock Vandergrift got sacked 3 times. Nico Iamaleava got sacked 2 times. 1 TD from Nico. Brock Vandergrift got 1 TD, 1 interception. Gavin Wimsatt, their second string, same thing. 1 TD, 1 interception. Dylan Sampson, 27 rushes, 142 yards, 2 TDs. Hey, what else can you say about him? Miles Kitselman, 6 receptions, 97 yards, 1 TD. He made plays. The rest of them, I don't know what they were doing, but Nico got his TD off of Kitselman, and Dylan Sampson got 2. Peyton Lewis got 1, and Kitselman was the only other one that actually showed up. You got Jamori Macklin for Kentucky and Josh Caddis that got a touchdown. It was a interesting game. We've got a run game. The only headache is that we need a better receiving core. We need to work out something there. But hey, it's a win. I loved it. So Boise State decided that they really want to tap off this season, and well, they did it. 56-24 over San Diego State. There's not a lot to talk about here. It was a thrashing. Yeah, San Diego State didn't even. They scored in the second quarter. They scored in the fourth, and that was it. They were trying, but they weren't good enough for Boise State, and Boise State is looking to be the runaway team. They're too low ranked, in my opinion. They're looking to be the runaway team for the group of 5 to the college football playoff. I still think that they're underrated. I think that they're too lowly rated. So, that it is what it is. But good to go, Boise. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, but Miami did pretty good against a decent Duke team, 53-31. Outscored them. Their defense was a little shaky there, but they're the only undefeated team
in the ACC now. Now, they're not the only team that's undefeated in ACC play. SMU still is undefeated in ACC play. Who thought SMU and Miami? This is looking to be a really strange year, but Miami is doing their best to hold on. They're wanting to go to the college football playoff. Not only are they wanting to go to the college football playoff, they're wanting to do it in a convincing fashion. This is looking like the Miami of old. Okay, Ohio State versus Penn State. Honestly, Ohio State needed this win more. Not because of Brady, not because they got beat by Oregon, but Ryan Day. I mean, now they're talking about firing James Franklin, which is idiotic. But the Big Ten, it's pretty much Oregon in the Big Ten. Yes, you've got Indiana, and they're going to be playing Ohio State soon, but really, Ohio State, Penn State, James Franklin's got to get over whatever problem he's got with being able to beat Ohio State. They haven't done it in enough years, but James Franklin's still 7-1. Don't tell me that that's not a good record. Both teams are 7-1. Quit talking about firing the coach. They both are looking like they could go to the college football playoff. I mean, seriously, quit talking about firing coaches when they're getting you to bowl games. That's getting silly. But hey, congrats to Ohio State. Not a major fan of them, but 2013, it was a hard fought game. In a Big 12 matchup that was strange, very strange. Iowa State, who was ranked number 11, probably going to drop, got beat by Texas Tech, an unranked Texas Tech, who's 6-3. It's not like that they're a bad team. They're just not at the level Iowa State was supposed to be at. 22-23. I mean, it was hard fought, and it shows, but I'm not sure, in all honesty, what that this shows for these two teams. I'm not sure what it shows you for uh, the Big 12 as a conference. I mean, seriously, this looks bad for the conference. But they Rocco Becht of Iowa State got sacked twice, got one interception. He threw 2 touchdowns, no rushing touchdowns at all. Uh, Baron Morton got sacked 3 times, 2 interceptions, 2 TDs. This wasn't a pretty game. This was slam it home as hard as you can. So, what's to say about Big 12 right now? Indiana, one of the biggest surprise teams of the year. 47-10 against Michigan State. Indiana's 13th. I thought they've been a little underrated. They're going to be playing Ohio State soon, but Aiden Childs, their quarterback at the quarterback at Michigan State, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 3 sacks. Tommy Schuster, their second string, 4 sacks. But Curtis Rourke of Indiana, this man threw for 4 TDs, pardon me, plus Tyson Lawton and Omar Cooper Jr., both of them, though they weren't the heaviest rushers, both got rushing TDs. Elijah Sarrett, Miles Price, and Zach Horton all got touchdowns from receptions. Not a heavy run game for either team. Matter of fact, what, 4 players in negative yards for Michigan State Tommy Schuster, the quarterback, negative 44 yards. Ryan Eckley, negative 21. Wow. Aiden Childs, negative 2. Micaiah Frazier, negative 1. The, Michigan State, just a mid team. I'm not sure that they can make a bowl game, but Indiana, good Lord. And they really wanted to make a statement this game. Another one of those, the Big 12 is devouring itself. Kansas State, who was ranked 17th, was 7-1 going in, got beat by Houston 24-19. I, I mean, other than BYU, none of them are undefeated. BYU's 5-0 for the conference, 8-0 overall. Iowa State, I just went over them. Colorado is 4-1 in the conference. So that means they're over Kansas State, who's 4-2. And this is not even Houston's 4-5. It isn't like this was a powerhouse. 24-19. Kansas State, 2 interceptions. Houston only got 1, playing 2 quarterbacks. Just, I don't know how to describe this game. I mean, other than the fact that Houston, to be able to do this, they scored twice in the fourth quarter. It's like Kansas State just ran out of steam. And that's going to be what their career or their season's pretty much going to be at this point, or at the end of the season. Florida, Georgia. I feel for Billy Napier. This game was looking winnable, and then DJ Lagway got hurt. And I'm Graham Mertz got hurt in an unusual accident. Now DJ Lagway is down. They've got a nasty few games coming up, and this Georgia loss is probably even more horrendous because they lost in the way that they did. Carson Beck had 3 interceptions. This is back-to-back games. Florida was looking like they were competitive in this game. They were looking far more than their 4-4. But Georgia was able to pull away. Carson Beck had 62.5% completion rate, 309 yards, but 3 interceptions, 2 TDs, 2 sacks. And, I mean, they barely had a run game. Barely. I mean, Dominique Lovett, 52 yards, 7 attempts, 1 TD. Cash Jones, wow. That man did one of the more amazing plays of the game. But Lagway had, I don't know what to say. I mean, him getting hurt was just bad for the team because they were keeping up, and then Aiden Warner comes in, and hey, he was leading a fight. They just couldn't do it. I feel bad for Billy Napier on this one, even though earlier in the season, yeah, I was one of those that was mocking him, but this is kind of bad. Louisville and Clemson. I don't even know what to say about this one. Clemson at no time led. They fought back a little bit in the fourth quarter, but Louisville just, well, okay, Clemson led going into the second quarter, 7-3. But that's not a real lead second quarter. But Louisville just took it away from them in the second quarter, scoring 2 TDs in the second quarter, 9 points in the third, and then a touchdown in the fourth. Dabo Swinney has got a lot of people screaming yet again about his choice not to get people from the portal. The man's still winning the game. Quit talking about the college football playoff. He's still got a chance to go there. Louisville's not. Louisville is 6-3. Clemson 6-2. Clemson still. Clemson and Louisville are still both good teams. Are they going to beat Miami? No. But Clemson and Louisville are still good teams. Quit complaining. Seriously, folks. Texas A&M. Mike Elko has done an amazing job with them. They were looking to become the SEC champion. They came up short. They came up more than short last night against South Carolina. 44-20. South Carolina's dangerous. They're one game away from going to a bowl game. They've only lost 3 this year. They're dangerous. Texas A&M and Mike Elko found out how dangerous yesterday. I'm not taking anything away from Texas A&M. I'm not taking. I'm not going to give any disrespect to South Carolina. These were 2 good teams. Mike Elko's done an amazing job. Don't say anything that he hasn't. They're already bowl eligible. When was the last time we were able to say that? What, 3-4 years ago? Maybe longer? Jimbo Fisher pretty much destroyed Texas A&M. Mike Elko's got them back to the point that, okay, this was a disappointing loss, but South Carolina, everybody knows South Carolina, as I'm going to be quoting Ole Miss's coach here, and no, I'm not. I'm having a brain fart right now. You'll have to pardon me, but it's not even miraculous plays. 1 or 2 plays this way or that way, South Carolina would have won several games this year. Would have won all 3 of their games this year they've got losses in. There is nothing disrespectful about either one of these teams winning this game or losing this game. This was a hard-fought game. Texas A&M just couldn't do it. And they couldn't do it in the second half. They're coming off of a big win last week that was emotional. They just couldn't do it. Well, okay, it was last week. They just couldn't. And so now you've got this where those emotions got to them. I feel for Texas A&M to have to lose this way, but hey, somebody had to win, somebody had to lose, so that's how it ended up. So SMU beat Pitt in a very convincing fashion. Pitt at no time had a chance in this game. Yeah, they fought some in the second half, but they had no chance in this game. And I like it because I don't like Narduzzi. I think he can be very disrespectful. So I'm not going to complain about this defeat. I'm glad SMU got it. It's looking like it's going to be SMU Miami in the ACC championship unless something happens. Wow. SMU had 3 quarterbacks. Pitt had 3 quarterbacks. Really, you're throwing in 3 quarterbacks? I don't think that Pitt deserved its ranking, and, well, SMU showed that they didn't. So we'll see how they do. So, Oregon's undefeated. Miami's undefeated. BYU's undefeated. Indiana's undefeated. And Army. That's it. Seriously. That is it. That's all the undefeated teams this year. Oregon, I honestly don't think that they're going to lose a game until they get to the college football playoff. If they even lose a game then. Miami, I honestly couldn't tell you. I will be 100% honest with you. I couldn't tell you. They have Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. They're not going to lose any of those 3 games unless something bad happens. They're not going to lose any of those 3 games. So, championship against SMU, who, let's be honest, they're not going to lose. They've got Boston College, Virginia, and California. So, it's going to be SMU Miami. Does SMU have the firepower to beat Miami? I mean, seriously, I don't think they do. And BYU is in a conference that is eating itself, and their conference schedule is the Utes, Kansas, Arizona State, and Houston. BYU's not going, they might, because of what the Utes are, they might possibly lose that one. Might, but I doubt it. So they're pretty much going to be the Big 12 conference champion because they're going to have to play either Iowa State or Colorado, and it's looking like Iowa State. Iowa State's got Kansas, Cincinnati, Utes, and Kansas State. They might get beat by Kansas State. Kansas State might just be looking for revenge. Maybe. Kansas State's out. And Colorado, nobody can tell you what they're going to do. They've still got Texas Tech, which who we talked about one big this week. They're a scary team. The Utes, uh, possibly going to be a challenge, but Kansas, Oklahoma State. So then you've got to then somebody's got to decide between Colorado and Iowa State to play BYU. Okay, right now Iowa State, if it plays out the way that it's looking, Iowa State is probably that team, possibly. And then Indiana, I'm sorry, Indiana is got Michigan, Ohio State, and Purdue. They've got 2 easily winnable games, but Ohio State is still mad. They're wanting to say that they're the second best team in the conference. So, do I think that Indiana's got a chance against Ohio State? Hey, it's college football. Anything can happen. Do I think it's feasible that it will happen that way? No. I think it's going to be Ohio State, Oregon in the conference championship. I might be wrong, but that's the way it looks right now. And Army, well, Army has still got North Texas, Notre Dame, UTSA, and Navy. They aren't beating Notre Dame. They don't have the offense to beat Notre Dame, and they aren't beating Navy. So they've got 2 losses coming up. They're going to be a 10-2 team. Navy, I don't know what happened with them this week. I think that last week's game was just too much. I think the emotions from that game, I think they probably just weren't able to do it. That's all I think it is. I don't see Rice as a better team in any way, shape, or form. I think it's just a simple fact of that Rice, especially after having just fired their 7th-year coach, they just fired Mike Bloomgren. So, yeah, this is one of those, hey, bunch of things happened. They're going to be playing Memphis next. Maybe it was a coaching problem at Rice. Maybe they do have the players. Maybe they just needed the right coach to show them how to do it. But Navy Army is not that good of a team. I know that everybody's always talking up Army. No, Army's not that good of a team compared to Navy. So we're going to see. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.
Thank you for watching this video. I've had some fairly good success with all of my redneck sports stuff, and I hope you enjoyed the topic. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, all that rigmarole, and also just let me know what you want to hear about. I'll give a redneck spin to this stuff. Let me tell you, I love sports. So I love people that want to join me in that. This has been Paul with Redneck Sports. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.